What up? What up? This is Michael, formerly of Only Human. I changed the title of the channel. It's called Unconventional Thought. One of the reasons because there were a few Only Humans, one of which was a pretty big channel, and I think that this title is more fitting because I think that relatively speaking, my thought is kind of unconventional. Just being human, I'm gonna get a lot of my opinions and ways that I think from my environment, but I just think that just from hearing people talk and listening to people on YouTube and stuff, I think that relatively speaking, my thought is pretty unconventional. But anyway, so I saw this video. This is some manosphere or what I call manosphere related stuff. There's this guy here. His channel's called Kev Soliti. Kev Soliti. But basically, when I was talking about the manosphere, one of the things I always point out is that they talk about being conservative a lot of the times, and I said that they're pseudo conservative. They're conservative because they feel that it would benefit them. They feel that it would benefit them getting and being able to keep a woman because of very specific reasons. But this guy here, his channel, he touches on some manosphere-ish things, but he breaks down right here very eloquently, I would say, and straight to the point, why these guys romanticized like decades ago, 1950s and this time frame where women didn't have as many options. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Back in the day, girls couldn't work, so they had to marry a guy to take care of them financially. They had to rely on a man. So even if you were a guy that had no game, that had no riz, it was much easier to get a girlfriend back then because they had to find a man to provide for them. A man that they can rely on because they didn't work. And the divorce rate was a lot lower because back in the day, it was more traditional. When you marry someone, you stay with them for life, no matter how hard things get, no matter what you go through. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy. It doesn't mean that they're in a happy marriage. They just didn't break up or divorce over every little thing. When you're talking about marriage in a traditional sense, it really only benefited men. Women couldn't leave a bad marriage because they had to rely on a man financially. They didn't have jobs. So if they left, they couldn't take care of themselves. So they had to stay with a man even if they were unhappy. So life was tough for women back in the day. And it really was.
Okay, so he just broke down why it is that these guys always talk about so-called conservative women and relationships and society. It's because they feel that it would benefit them with the thing that they struggle with, and that's getting and or keeping a woman. And like he was saying, the thinking is that they didn't have, women didn't have a lot of options back then. And so it was kind of like they would rely more so than now on a man for their well-being. And a couple of things that he didn't really touch on or didn't really dive into was that they were kind of groomed to find a good man and get married and be a good wife slash housekeeper and all these kind of things. Not all of them, of course, but that was how it was in our society at the time. That's what a lot of women and girls were learning. Not only that, there was a stigma against things like divorce. So for all the reasons that he mentioned and what I'm saying right now, these guys felt that that would help them, like back if things were now the way they were then, that would help them to be able to get a woman. And then for these different reasons, like if they were to split up, the woman wouldn't have a lot of options. Also, there was this stigma against divorce that would enable them to actually keep a woman. And they don't really feel like from their experiences with women that they have a good chance of doing either one. That's why they harp so much on this conservative shit when they're just pseudo conservative. They're not really conservative. It's just bullshit. And I kind of wonder how, like, what I would recall real conservatives feel about these guys in the manosphere hijacking their ideologies and movement, if you can call it that. But anyway, this is the not a new channel, just the new name, Unconventional Thought. I am Michael, and I am out. Peace.